Welcome, everyone. Welcome to Creativity-Hive's weekly program. My name is Miriam Haugen, and I am one of the founders of Creativity-Hive, along with Neil Haugen and Mo Mullah. We help budding videographers achieve massive editing skills through one-on-one teaching and live group coaching. Our weekly program brings you people working in the video industry from across the globe, interesting people doing interesting things, people that you can connect to and learn from. And today we are talking with Ryan Kackley. Welcome, Ryan.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Ryan is the founder of Oregon Marketing Group. So tell us, Ryan, about your business and what you do.
So essentially, started Oregon Marketing Group over 10 years ago now. And we are a full-service creative agency that does all the work in-house. So we started with websites and then added video and Google ads, Facebook ads, social media marketing, but we're real heavy in web and video. We like to go out and make that stuff ourselves, do all the work, do all the content, do all the editing. And this is a video show. So, we make basically videos for clients that are more small businesses, anywhere from 1 to 100 employees roughly is kind of our niche. And we make TV commercials for them that go on cable or broadcast TV. They double up for Facebook and Instagram. We edit them differently for that sometimes. Also longer business videos, what we call like showing off the business itself. So it's like 2 minutes, 3 minutes, and that goes on YouTube and the website, and that has interviews with staff, customers, clients, and tells the story of the business a little more in depth. And that's kind of our forte, is that those type of videos.
All right. Okay, so I have to ask, what software do you use for your editing?
Well, because we're web and because we do images and pictures and Photoshop and everything else, we're Adobe, of course. The Adobe ecosystem is very great for us because we can do a Photoshop file, bring it into Premiere Pro, and edit, animate different layers for have a parallax effect or different things like that. So we like Premiere Pro.
Right. Awesome. Well, I'm gonna bring Neil on here so that he can ask questions too. So, all right. What kind of training? This is a question I ask everybody. What kind of training did you have to get you where you are today?
Well, interesting question because it's pretty unconventional. I am now 41 going on 42. And when I was 20 years of age, I became certified in hypnosis. So hypnotherapy has been a big part of my life. And then something called neuro-linguistic programming and NLP. Back in the day, it was like Tony Robbins and Bandler and Grinder and all them. Studying the aspects of language and how we use our 5 senses to use that language in our life. Do you see what I'm saying? Do you hear what I'm saying? Do you feel what I'm saying? Do you smell what I'm saying? Do you taste what I'm saying? Those last 2 kind of are off. So doing hypnotherapy for a lot of years, decided to apply it to marketing. So I came across in business as sales, marketing, and training, and started applying that skill set into marketing, and then took the tools, like websites and video, and apply that kind of marketing aspect to them. Like, how is this scene going to affect somebody? If I have the music and the tempo here, what's that effect? What's the goal that I'm going for? And so that's kind of my background on that.
That is an actually beautiful background for going into web marketing and trying to build company brand recognition, loyalty, and everything. I mean, that's amazing.
So yeah, it's been good. So that's my background in education. Then everything else has been YouTube tutorials here and there, if needed, but just experience of doing it. And a lot of times the client's asking for a certain feature, whether that's web or a certain effect on video. Learning it, doing it. LinkedIn Learning has been good. The class I took from you guys was really good last time. So a lot of training that way. The industry moves so fast that colleges can't keep up.
Oh. So how are you finding that all of your background training is actually working in the way you shape the experience for both your employees and your clients?
Yeah. So, a lot of times it's getting what the client's goal is. So they say, oh, I want to make more money. Oh, I want to have more clients. But usually it's they want security for their families, or, it's a little deeper than that. So a lot of times I will kind of draw out that deeper goal, that deeper thing. It's kind of like doing a hypnosis session or NLP session in business, but you don't call it that because it really kind of freaks people out if you say, oh, I'm hypnotizing you. Yeah. But you're drawing out,
Right.
drawing out those aspects of what they're wanting, what their goals are. And then you're trying to portray that visually through video or web. And it's like, okay, you make that choice. Is this emotional? You got to impact somebody emotionally. Is this more of a feeling video? Is it more explaining what we do? Because we've done every type of video. We've done how-to videos on for internal use, like how to load a capsule machine for making pills. So that's for employees.
Really exciting.
Yeah, it was really long, laborious, but fun. I mean, to really fancy, we had a shooting video where this real estate team had an event this last Saturday, team building event of shooting probably 50 guns. So, how do you do that safely? How do you plan that out?
How do you handle the sound?
Yeah. How do you handle the sound peaking? That kind of stuff. And then put it all together, and then training all the employees to how to stay safe. Like, I've never been around a gun. Okay, well, you stay back from the barrel, and then making sure everyone there knows everything. Yeah. So there's a lot of logistics from there versus the how-to video.
So the sound must have been, really challenging. I've heard that you can't really use the live sound, that you almost have to insert.
Yeah, some
sound.
stuff was pretty good with the Rode mics. You can limit the peaking, so it kind of cuts off at a certain level on the shotgun mics. But yes, pretty much, it's if you're getting talking audio versus shooting audio, it's definitely different.
Yeah,
It's interesting to hear you're talking about how you have to figure out what the clients really want. In one of my other hats, I'm a contributing author for mixinglight.com, a colorist training subscription website. And I, of course, handle how to do professional coloring in Premiere Pro with that group. But a very common problem for colorists is, of course, typically they've pre-COVID, they've sat there with a client in suite looking at a big monitor while they're looking at their monitor, and the client goes, I want more blue. And, well, where do you want more blue? What kind of blue do you want? And what are you trying to get with more blue, where you want more blue? Because there's so many ways that I can work on this control. I mean, that's pretty much a useless comment, but trying to ask the questions in a way that the client doesn't get offended and you get useful information. That's not an easy thing to do.
Yeah, exactly. It's so different for everyone's opinions, and they don't really know what that means to ask that. It's, I can understand like a web feature, like, oh, can I have a form that has these forms in there? Okay, straightforward. But coloring in space, like when I edit a photo, you've got so many different monitors. You've got PC monitors to, Mac monitors. I'm on my Mac, and then sometimes people on PCs are really, really crappy and old. So they think it's a different color altogether, or it's super saturated for them or weird. So yeah, I mean, depending on the space that you're using, how bright your stuff is, it's all completely different that way.
all right. That is, the different monitors, you never know. You don't have control over what people are going to be viewing your work on so often. But do you have any advice for people just starting out? I mean, what kind of training? I don't know.
So
just any advice. Well, open-ended question.
First thing I would do is build your network. So get out and meet people how you can. Right now, it's kind of LinkedIn, because we're not doing a lot of in-person meetings, but as in-person meetings show up, Chamber of Commerce, build your network is number one. I spent, over 10 years building mine, and it helped sustain me through COVID very well. So I would definitely build your network of people. A lot of times I started with the smaller events and people didn't have necessarily the capital or money to do things, but they would it would lead into other stuff later.
And so, yeah, tell me about about how COVID affected your business and how did that work out?
Yeah, so there was, let's see here. There was, most of my clients stayed the entire year through 2020, and they still have. They're still there. But I noticed a drop around the turn of the year into 2021. People reevaluating, or crunches and money kind of hit here in Oregon. So I did notice a few of the monthlies kind of get hit finally, or they would take stuff in house, which I totally understand for finances. But then I would still be fine with single projects. So I have monthly accounts. I have different billing. So I have monthly accounts that I do regular stuff with all the time. And then there are single projects, single web, single video, single ad accounts that we do too. So I noticed that the monthly stuff kind of dropped a little bit. Not terribly, but 3 or 4 or 5 people out of 25, kind of changed that way. Then they still come to me for single stuff, but they kind of took a lot of stuff in house. But single projects picked up a lot. So one client here, one client there, but there was a lot of them. And so even this week, there's been a lot of new interest and a lot more video. So for some reason, April, May just opened up for video a lot too, for single projects, as well as for recurring, campaigns.
Awesome. That is really, really great. So, compare what you thought your work life would be like as a younger person and what it actually is like.
Well, when you say younger person, what point are you talking about?
Oh, I don't know. Pick one.
So starting out, I was always raised to work hard for your money, trade a lot of time for low dollars. So did a lot of, farm work, did a lot of temp work, temp positions, doing, landscape, blowing bark and all that kind of stuff. Eventually I ended up starting a janitorial company where I traded a lot of my nights for dollars, doing movie theaters. And so did a lot of that aspect for about 7 years, was doing that. And then just when I was doing that kind of stuff, I would do a lot of self-learning. So personal growth and self-learning was kind of the whole hypnosis theme. So I continued that on when I was doing the janitorial company, cleaning at nights, because they never close. They're 7 days a week, and you got to clean them from 1 a.m. roughly to 8 a.m. is their time frame.
Oh, where was this?
This was in Albany, Albany,
Okay.
Oregon. I cleaned the Regal Theater there as a monthly account. It was my first kind of business. So I did that for a lot of years, but was growing, learning, listening to headphones the whole time as I was working. So wanted something better, did something different, and then kind of hit the reset button in 2006 and said, I'm just resetting my life from what it's been, and started a company called Kelt System. And nobody really knew what that was. And I started networking. And so, basically from there, I changed the name to Oregon Marketing Group in 2012, and then kind of blew up from there. But basically, my younger self basically thought I had to work physically and physically told my body to make money. To answer your question.
Yeah. Okay.
As you get older, you think more of using the head to make money.
Yeah, I did that a little bit younger, but yeah, generally I learned early, I guess.
I have something wrong on my sound system, or at least the echo is gone now. I don't know what was going on. I must have something clicked wrong here, but it seems to be gone. All other questions, Neil?
Yeah, when you're working with your various clients, how do you keep track of what are the specific needs of one client versus the needs of another client? Because it's so easy to start comparing them and thinking of similar ways of doing similar things when actually their needs and their wants may be very specific. How do you keep track of that?
Yeah, so I mean, as far as the work goes and employees, we're doing a lot of tracking with Trello. So different cards on Trello, different systems that way as far as doing the actual work. I guess I would say the different wants and needs, it's the relationship that I've built with them. And so it's on me to communicate that in the work. So a lot of times I'll have my employees do 75% of, say, a video project. So they'll come with me, they'll help me film. They will do different creative shots that I'm not thinking about, with their experience and stuff like that. And then we'll put them all together. We'll make proxies. We'll put them up on Google Drive. And they'll download the proxies. They'll do most of the editing, and then they'll send it back to me, just the project, maybe the music they chose to. And then I'll finish it off with the final vision, the idea, and stuff that I extracted from the client and what I feel to be as best as far as that goes. And that's kind of the process that we do. Is I guess I have most of that information in my head and my relationship with them, because a lot of times employees aren't selling, even though I wish they would sometimes.
Another thing is, of course, to make each one unique is the graphics and the transition styles and everything used. How do you work with that?
Yeah, so sometimes we're always trying something new. You will see an effect or a video that we like. I'm like, oh, that's really cool, or a movie even. And one of my main editors you've met is Yasmin, and she will try just different things sometimes. It'll kind of surprise me, and either it will work or it won't. For myself, sometimes I want a particular transition for, say, more of a music type video versus a how-to video. How-to video, you can do a simple cross dissolve, in between the scenes because it's for internal use or just on YouTube, versus try to be really emotional. We don't do many music videos, but I'm just using that as an example. Music video, you want some really flashy transitions from time to time to go with the music.
So do you build all of your transitions? Do you buy sets? What?
We generally buy them, or we will learn keyframing, because keyframing is a lot in transitions, with a particular one and build upon it.
Any favorites of the ones you've bought?
Not off the top of my head. I couldn't name them. I have them in my folders, but like I said, each project goes to different transitions. So, that's something I'd have to look up to see which ones the names were actually.
I know a lot of people from my work on the Adobe forums and other places. I know a lot of editor types will complain about having to buy transition packs or whatnot. They think that Premiere Pro should include a billion options like that. And the colorists that I work with, of course, okay, so a lot of them are running Resolve, and they point out they've bought enough Blackmagic hardware that you always get the little Resolve paid studio thing, little cards with all the hardware they've bought, and but they are running the paid version of Resolve, and actually that it has some nice packs, but geez, they're running Red Giant, they're running Boris, they're running everything you can think of, and so some of the guys I know they're going. They hear that when I point out that I've talked with editors that are really upset that somebody tells them to go buy $100 pack of transitions, and they're going, I got about $6,000 worth of annual subscriptions for my plugins for Resolve. What the heck are they talking about?
Yeah.
So depending on what you're doing.
Yeah. Different levels of work. I mean, we love Blackmagic cameras. So we have it's not really a pocket, but it's the Blackmagic Pocket Cinema camera. That's 6K one. We run that a lot. We really like that. It's also a good live studio camera. I don't know if you're running a Blackmagic with this.
I got a 4K.
Yeah. So they're great cameras. We also run a Canon, just got the Canon R5 6 months ago. and loving that. It's never overheated on me. That's the main complaint that people are talking about.
Mhm.
But also, I'm not running 8K.
Yeah.
So I was like, 8K is a little bit extreme when we're still uploading 1080 commercials to Comcast. So
Yeah. Well, the image that we're seeing of me right there, that's my BMPC 4K camera sitting up there.
awesome. I was wondering, it looks like you have a Blackmagic colors down there, color wheels.
No, that's a tangent panel, the full tangent elements panel.
Very cool.
And because I can use that, I work, primarily in Premiere. I do some work in Resolve. So, and of course, Resolve gear is all designed to work only in Resolve.
Yep.
The Blackmagic is kind of like Apple that way. Their gear is designed only to work with their gear. And
I just found out. Go ahead. Sorry.
So, a Blackmagic panel I would only be usable when I'm working in Resolve. And this one does work in Resolve, although they pretty much lock it down to only about half of it's usable at any one time because they do want you to buy their own gear. But no, so it's a really nice panel. I'm enjoying it. I do a lot more than color with it now. I'm setting it up for audio work. I can control, all the knobs over here. I can control for and set for audio track mixers. So I can control panning, volume, and everything for audio tracks with it, and rotation and sizing of graphic elements and everything with it. It's getting to be a kind of a Swiss Army knife for Premiere.
That's great.
Yep.
I just found out yesterday, in 2018, I bought the iMac Pro. And just yesterday, I was like, oh, maybe it's time to get a new one. And they don't make them anymore. I was like, whoa, they discontinued the iMac Pro?
Yeah.
So I was kind of surprised at that.
Well, we could go on and on about gear, huh?
Oh.
I go, oh, they're talking about gear. Oh, no. But
especially when she's heard me talk about the kits that some of the colorists I know, they're running at the least their reference monitor. I've got this one up top here that's a BenQ monitor that is about a $500 monitor, but actually no, this one was closer to $1,000. But they're running a full grade 1 reference monitor that's $5,000 to $8,000, or if they're doing HDR, it's like $25,000 to $35,000. And then they've got all the hardware in between the computer and the monitor because they don't run that out of the GPU over HDMI. You run it out of a breakout box of some kind, and that can cost from $400 to a couple grand. And blah 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 blah. They've got their spectroradiometers to do the calibration, and so besides the computer itself, they're looking at between $30,000 and $60,000 for a setup. Then you add in the computer, and it's probably $20,000 computer. And so I point out to Miriam, hey, we're doing this relatively inexpensively. And she goes, right.
well, I do appreciate that that you, Neil, are very good about going, do I really have to have this? And I pretty much trust him when he says, yes, I have to have this, that he's not just buying a toy.
Oh, Ryan, have you made any purchase? Have you made any purchases, Ryan, expecting that you were going to use something and then found out that that was not necessarily the wisest?
Yeah, done that for stabilization gear and slider gear. And, the slider gear sometimes was way too big, long, not practical for carrying on shoots outside or something like that, So, yeah, I've bought a lot of gear that I'm not using, yes.
Great.
That seems to be a fairly common thing.
Like, oh, the new DJI Ronin came out. I'm going to get that. And I haven't used that. And I've been using my other one because I'm used to it.
Oh, my gosh.
You want to sell it cheap?
I was going to ask one question. Something that I seem to bump into in, the video industry is there's a lot of, you might say, artists that believe they know what's best and the client doesn't know anything.
Uh-oh.
And I'm a little more practical where I listen to the client and what they want and deliver on a business type model. And so I was curious your thoughts on that. Basically doing the business side of things and, you could say capitulating to clients versus the artist trying to stand their ground and be an artist in what they do.
I'll jump in here and say there was a program, a 4.5-hour program featuring Walter Volpato recently on TAC training. And Walter is one of the top colorists in the world. Did the Last Jedi and quite a few other famous movies. And he is an Italian gentleman living and working out of LA now. And one of the first things he said in his program was, "I'm going to show how I work. And you have to understand that unlike many people, I respect the director of photography. When I do color, I assume if the scene is dark, he wants it dark. I don't automatically change it unless I check with him first." And so he sets up everything he does so that it takes the photography that he got and he does it according to what it looks like they wanted to get on set. He assumes they have a flash meter, they know how to light, they know how to expose, and all. And so he doesn't go do it. And it was interesting to see some of the comments because a number of people were going, well, they just assumed that they should be the one that's automatically correcting for the exposure and everything. And when the host mentioned that, Walter was going, oh no.
That's awesome. That's exactly what I
I work for them. They're the boss.
Yeah.
They know what to do. They're an artist also. I don't expect to tell them what to do. And of course the other thing was, he's working for agencies when he's doing commercials and stuff like that. They're the boss. Yeah.
That's what I find a lot of people have that hard to accept. They have a chip on their shoulder that they can't accept that. So
who's writing the check that pays you?
Really?
They're your boss.
There's a place I know as a stills photographer, which is where I primarily come from, that I can throw in some creative things.
Yeah.
That they might, because most of my clients have very little imagination and they they know what they've seen and not much beyond that. So they're often thrilled if I throw in something.
For sure.
Creative that they weren't expecting. But oh my gosh, if they really just want a smiling at the camera, leaning up against a tree, I don't know, any of the cliche things, you bet I'm going to do that for them.
Maternity photos, hand on the belly.
Yes, right. Well, I have found maternity photos, you kind of have to emphasize that belly. That's what it's all about. But this has been really interesting. Is there anything else that you want to add, though, Ryan, before we sign off for this week? Any parting words?
Just build your network. That's the best thing that has helped me and helped sustain me, is just having the network out there, and learn to sell.
Oh, yeah. No, not the S word.
Yeah.
Selling is life.
Yeah, we're all in sales, whether you're selling yourself for an employer to get a regular job or your own business or whatever else. It's all about the sales. And that's what I would say.
Absolutely true. Amen to that. We are always selling. So thank you for your time and giving us some insights into your workflow. I would like everybody to join the Creativity-Hive community. I've had that little ticker going along the bottom of the screen the whole time. So we have a Facebook group. Join us there and we can share ideas. You'll know when we go live and gain some valuable tips and comments. And if you comment, that's another way you can connect, is just comment on one of these platforms and then I can send you an invitation. So thank you so much for joining us. We will see you again next time.
Have a great night, guys.
Yep. Thanks, Ryan.